I'm joined by Cecily Habimana from So Much Soul Conference. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about it. What inspired you to start the So Much Soul Conference?
Well, I did my first one in 2021, and as you know, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we wanted to do a virtual sewing conference that could bring people together. And during that time, we had about 10 instructors that came together for our inaugural one, when we had thousands of people to sign up for this conference. And every time we've done it since then, we've gotten more and more people, more and more interest, and it's just something that people look forward to attending every year.
And what are some of your goals for the conference?
It's really to engage our community and to find other people who are interested. A lot of times we have our members and we have people who attend the conference that say, I just was looking for something like this. I was looking for a community to learn and to sew with, and so we want to continue to serve. It's our mission to teach the world to sew one stitch at a time, and the So Much Sew Conference is one way that we do that.
You know, one of the things that interested me about this is the fact that I was trying to sew a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was fun. My wife has this little miniature sewing machine. I brought it out of storage and I tried to mess around with it, and I said, I could get down with this. Talk to me about how you hope to make the conference more inclusive and accessible to people like myself.
Yeah, so it is beginner friendly. As long
Okay.
as you're able to thread the sewing machine, you're basically able to follow along with some of the projects. So we have an upcycle denim project where you're basically going to take 4 pair of denim jeans and make it into a top. And so our instructors are very familiar with how to teach beginners and how to teach beginners virtually, because we've been doing it now. We have 3 years of experience of doing this virtually. So it's inclusive in that way because it's beginner friendly. But it's also a place where even the advanced level sewer can learn some new tips as well.
How did you select the speakers?
I was looking for a range of instructors that had a lot of different experience. So sewing, you have quilters, you have people who specialize in garments. So I wanted to make sure that we had a range of people with different experiences and also different audiences, because each instructor comes with their following as well. And so that was another thing that I looked at. We have a lot of instructors that come from our own team. So we have about 5 instructors that are our our internal sewing team, and they're all teaching, and then we have about 5 guest instructors as well.
So let's talk about one of the special guests that you have on, Felicia Rashad. Let's
Yes.
talk about her. It's exciting to have her. How do you get her involved in this?
Yes, so as you may know, she's the dean at Howard University,
That's right.
the College of Fine Arts. I'm an alumni there, and so when I was thinking about who would be the perfect person to do a fireside chat with, I wanted to discuss why it is important for us to tell our stories, and Felicia Rashad is the epitome of that. She has been telling our stories as African Americans through theater, through directing, for as long as I was as a baby, right? And so I had the opportunity to present her with a proposal, and within 2 seconds of watching the video proposal, she says, yes. And I said, did she really just say yes to me? So I'm super excited about it. I'm excited about the conversation that we'll be having together.
Very cool. What advice would you give to aspiring sewers like myself?
First, I would say to relax, have fun. A lot of times people get tense, they don't want to make a mistake, but the mistakes is where the learning comes from. There's what we call our best friend is our ripper. It's like this little tool that you can use to rip out your seams.
Okay.
So if you make a mistake, it's not really a big deal. But people like to hold oh my gosh, if I make this mistake, it's going to be the end of the world. No. My best designs have been because of a mistake. I made a jumper over during COVID, and it was too small. And what did I do? I opened it up, put some red, black, and green stripes on the side, and then everybody loved this new jumper. So I would just say stay encouraged.
Now, are you wearing something that you made yourself?
Yep, I sure
Really
am.
nice.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me ask you something. there are a lot of Africans that I've been talking to lately who are making their own clothes, like professionally. I'm wearing something that somebody made. He owns his own line. He's, you know, trying to become a big fashion designer, hopefully in the future. What experience, he doesn't sew himself, he just has a stable of tailors. What experience do you need to have in order to go into business for yourself, making clothes to sell that others would wear?
Yeah. So although you could definitely be a designer and not have any sewing experience at all. Before I opened my sewing studio, So Creative Lounge, I started off as a designer, and my clothing line was called Simply Cecily. I would say that it's very important just to have some basic skills in sewing as you become and develop yourself as a designer, because you need to know construction a little bit, right? So you may be able to draw a nice dress or something like that, but then you may not think about, well, how long does the zipper need to be? Or does it need to have something we call darts or pleats or something like that? So just some real basic things will help you become a better designer and be able to communicate better with the people that are actually making the clothes for you.
Interesting. One last question about myself and we'll switch.
Yeah, no worries.
Most of the attendees of the conference are women, is that correct?
That is correct.
So because most men don't think this is, you know, something that is accessible to them. Like I didn't know that I could enjoy sewing till I tried it.
Yeah.
Is this open to men?
It is open to men 100%. And the interesting thing is about this is typical of America, right? Where you look at sewing as a women's hobby, a stay-at-home mom or something like that. But if you look around the entire world, most of the tailors, they're men. They're men. So I think this is something that people enjoy regardless of gender.
It's very relaxing.
It is definitely relaxing as long as you got that ripper in hand if when you make a mistake. And it's something that you can enjoy just, you know, and get away from everything else.
Okay. So one last question. What do you think the future holds for the sewing community? And how can people get involved with the So Creative Lounge?
Okay. What does the future hold with sewing? Well, it definitely took us through the pandemic. So when we first started, you know, with the conference, it was around the time we were mask making factories, right? We were making all these masks.
Absolutely.
And then these people, they found through that this is something that they really enjoy doing. And so I feel like people can use this as an avenue to relax, to create. There's a certain level of confidence that people build when they're making things. So if I walked in here and then, you know, somebody's like, hey, where'd you get that from? I'm like, I made it. It doesn't matter who you are. There's a certain level of,
it's powerful.
You know, it's powerful. And so that's part of what we do. We want to build confidence. We want to build community. We want to build a creativity and all those sorts of things. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Cecily, for speaking to us. We look forward to your conference, and I will participate because, again, I'm the latest tailor. I'm enjoying sewing, and I want to learn more, so I'll definitely participate.
And there was one other thing, it's free to attend.
Okay.
It's a virtual conference, so you just have to go to SoMuchSewConference.com. It's SEW, SoMuchSewConference.com to register. And then if you want to get the kit to go along with it, you can, but to just attend the conference, it's absolutely free.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.